again, people just need to not be so reactionary. Like, give him time. I screenshot a comment from somebody talking about Lowe, and he just said, firstly, I want to apologize to Florian Wirtz. And I was like, this is the energy that we need, okay? Everybody needs to be apologizing to Flo.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Liverpool Girlies Podcast, a place where we welcome anyone who loves to obsess over Liverpool FC. My name is Stephanie and I'm here with Annika and Molly-Ann. We are three friends who share a love of Liverpool and dream of one day having a cup of coffee at the AXA Training Center coffee bar. Annika is away again this week, so it is just me and Molly-Ann today. Molly-Ann, how are we feeling?
I feel great. It is just magical what one win will do to clear your memory. You know, like midweek, I was like, oh no. And now I'm like, I'm good. Life's great, everybody.
And around here we call it the sports zhuzh, the sports girly zhuzh. Like when the Seahawks do really well and Liverpool does really well on the same day. Both of them got clean sheets on Sunday. So phenomenal time over here in Seattle. You had your own sports girly moment this weekend as well. How did that go?
Yeah, it was a big sports weekend, a big sports, I don't know, less than 24 hours, 12 hours. I don't know. It was a blur. But I went to the Iron Bowl. So the Auburn versus Alabama college football game. I did that Saturday night. I'm down in Alabama with my family for the holidays. So went to that game. It was not a sports judge personally as an Auburn fan. But it was really fun.
They held on.
I know.
They did a great job.
They did. I mean, it definitely could have been a lot worse. It just, it was seeming so hopeful that Auburn could pull out the win over Alabama. The more you are around me as a sports fan, especially if we are watching a game in person, I wholeheartedly believe if you choose to show up to a sports event in person, like you need to be there to like be yelling, to make it hard on the other team, like creating an atmosphere. And I take that very seriously. So Sunday, I couldn't really talk very well. It was like 30 degrees in Auburn at one point. I had to take my coat off in the stadium because I'm getting so hot from like yelling and cheering and clapping. And anyway, so they didn't lose on my account.
For you,
that's all I have to say.
For you, it is a full body, emotional, spiritual experience when you were in person at matches, especially Auburn, especially the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
So I cannot imagine how you felt on Sunday.
Yeah. So yeah, it was rough. And then we drove home after the game. I got in bed at 4 a.m., woke up at 8 a.m., watched the Liverpool match, went back to bed for the rest of the day. So
dedication.
At one point, I'm doing my best to watch. We're running on fumes. And I was like, that was a handball. And my dad was like, I think he just got hit in the back by something. And I was like, maybe. Like, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. So it was very fun. A whirlwind for sports girly weekend. All the sports. We love it.
Well, we really needed that little boost. I mean, it's unfortunate that Auburn lost, but I'm excited that you got to go.
Yeah, it's always fun to go. Even the loss in an Iron Bowl you don't want it, but it makes it fun. It was fun to roll into a Liverpool win. So no complaints.
No complaints. But this win, definitely, I was like, are we just talking about one match today on the podcast? And I was like, no. Actually, we lost to PSV 4-1 this week. That feels like 3 weeks ago.
I know.
It feels like it was so long. And I pretty much have just written it off. What was your experience watching that game?
I also watched that with my family here. My brother was in town, so he got to watch too. I was hoping for like a more exciting game because he likes football, but like doesn't really have a team, kind of teeters in and out. And I was like, maybe this will be an exciting game. And like, he'll be like, no, I want to support Liverpool. Unfortunately, I don't think that was the match to bring him in, but
that was my experience. My niece was in town and I was like, Abby, we're going to sit and we're going to watch this match. And then you're going to want to be like a part of this sport. She's 21. And I couldn't even watch the second half because I was like, I just know where this is going to go. We need to like go outside and touch grass. Like it's just not feeling great. And I'm glad that she didn't see the second half because that was really
Yeah, it was hard. It was a tough watch.
not the game to introduce new hopeful fans to.
No. Yeah, West Ham was definitely a better experience, but that's okay. Well, it's not the last chance. As long as they haven't picked another team, we'll come back and convert them in the future.
Yes, but what a way to start out a holiday week.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. PSV was, I mean, I don't know how you felt going into that match, but I felt pretty hopeful. I feel like Champions League, we see like such a fight from our players. So if anything, I thought we would draw. I'd never, thought the scoreline was going to end 4-1. And just feeling kind of lifeless at moments. So yeah, it was such a surprise. I'm hoping that's a one-off in Champions League and like we keep moving forward, but it was surprising. I wasn't expecting that going into that match.
There's always just a question mark going into it now. It's the first season where I've gone and I'm like, I honestly don't know how we're going to do. I mean, it kind of feels like how it was with City last year. Like sometimes they would show up really well. And then a lot of times it was like it was a completely different team on the pitch, even though it was the same players.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how I feel right now. Just like, okay, I'm going in and I am here and I'm going to support and hopefully they'll do well, but I just don't know how it's going to go. And that's pretty much how I felt going into PSV too. It's very unpredictable at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a good way to manage your expectations pre-match.
Yes.
I'm not always great at that.
I appreciate you because you're a very optimistic person and you're very much like, guys, we can do it. We can do it. It's going to happen. 80th minute. We've got this. And so that is always very helpful, but I'm not as optimistic all the time.
That's okay.
So sometimes that is also helpful.
Yeah, it is.
But I appreciate just during this run of poor form that just how the players are reacting to it and how they're taking it really seriously and they're not hiding, but you can tell that they are processing and contemplating and chatting with each other, and the way that they show up on social media, the way that they're taking accountability and they're not pointing fingers. They're not blaming anyone else except themselves and how they have to dig in and work harder. I just really appreciate how serious they're taking it all, both the players and Arne.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, the match, I feel like we're both like, I'm in a place of like, okay, let's move on. We've had a better one since then. What I did, I don't know, like is maybe not the right word, but seeing Curtis Jones give his post-match interview, and up until, at this point, I think we've seen Verge, we've seen Andy come out and give interviews post-matches of games that have been really difficult. We didn't win. And they're saying the right things. They're saying, we need to work harder. This isn't acceptable. We want the fans to stick by us. All very like fair things to say. They are also really well media trained individuals. And I just very much respected Curtis Jones coming out and being angry. And I don't know, it kind of just felt like the bubble burst of like, like this, we're not going to tolerate this anymore internally, or at least that's his stance. I mean, it was unfiltered, it was raw, but I just appreciated like seeing that emotion. And you can't have that every time, right? There has to be composure in that. But I was so glad how vulnerable he was and wanted to come out and speak his mind. Because I do think we then saw a West Ham that felt a little different, and just knowing like there's a real frustration in there. And we're not just seeing like the PR, like polished version. And to see it from individuals that are a little younger. I mean, Curtis Jones has been around for a long time, but he's not the captain or the vice captain. And I think seeing somebody that isn't in a formal position of leadership come out and call for better is really important in this moment. It can't just be up to Virgil and Andy and Mo to figure out what's going on. Like everybody is a part of this, and those three aren't going to be around much longer. Other people have to start stepping up, and I love seeing Curtis like take that position as intense as, I mean, I just had never seen a Liverpool player give an interview like that, but I really liked it.
Curtis's DNA is Liverpool. This
Yeah.
is where he was born. It's where he was raised. He is Liverpool.
Yeah.
And so, especially in times like this, it's just so interesting thinking about what it is like for these professional athletes. Like, these are human beings going through so much emotionally, trying to figure out, especially after they're going through 90 minutes of straight adrenaline and having to think really hard and be careful about their faces and be careful. They just have to manage so much adrenaline and emotion, and to immediately have to be in front of the media after 90 minutes of not playing well at all. Who knows what the supporters are saying to them? Who knows what they're saying to each other? Who knows what the away guests are saying to them? They're having to filter out so much, and they're so hard on themselves. And it is hard to be that vulnerable, to be like, hey, like, this is not okay. A lot of criticism is put on a lot of athletes for being honest and being vulnerable, but that's one of the reasons why I really like this club. Thierry Henry said it. We've talked about this recently. He has told Slot, thank you for being honest and being open about how you're thinking and how you're feeling through this whole process, because it's rare. And so people see it as a weakness, but it's just not. So I'm just so grateful. I am incredibly proud of them every single time I see them play, no matter what the result is. I just know that because of what I know about these guys, they're giving everything that they possibly can. They're doing the best that they can. So I was really, really grateful to see Curtis react like that. And hopefully it will kind of enact a response in the supporters and the other players and all of that. So,
yeah, I think there's a bigger ripple effect. Somebody asked Slot in his, I don't know if it was post-match of PSV, pre-match for West Ham, about Curtis's remarks, and whether Slot knew them or not, he did a great job of being like, no, tell me what he said. And, you know, he talked, the reporter had just said, like, Curtis said, like, we need that dog in us. Like, we need that fight. We need to be fighting harder on the pitch. And Slot just said, good, then do it. Like, bring it. And I thought that was such a great, you know, just like they're challenging each other in really healthy ways. And clearly they respect each other, that they can listen to that feedback, that criticism from each other. And the response is like, okay, if that's what you want to do, let's do it.
Slot is just so great at hearing whether it be a positive thing and turns it as like, yes, that's positive, but here's what we can do better. And if a reporter or someone else says something that's negative, he also can turn around and be like, yes, that was hard, but look at how positive it is. He's just so good at finding that balance. He doesn't put anyone down at all. I remember one of the concerns that people had with him coming in was how Slot was going to be in press conferences, because he's Dutch, and if he was going to be quick-witted or sharp or anything like that. And his PR training is perfect. I am so grateful. He's phenomenal. And he is just such a great leader, and I'm so glad to have him at the helm. I say that all the time. I trust him. I love him. He's wonderful. So. Say it all the time. And especially right now, right? I think it's just like the messaging that at least we can put out there, that we believe, of like, we trust him. He, even in recent form, has not given us a true reason not to trust him. Yeah.
So until that happens, like, we will back him. We will trust him. We have no reason not to.
And we'll get into the West Ham match, but after that match in the press conference, he was talking about how amazing the Liverpool supporters are, because they were 0-0 and the Liverpool supporters were singing his name away. And you could hear them throughout the entire match on TV. The fact, like, there's so much noise happening online. I have to like calm down about getting upset about it and getting frustrated with the people about being so negative. And then I have to remind myself, okay, these are people online. I am not there in person. And it's such a great temperature check to see how the away supporters are. And from the moment the match started, you could hear them at West Ham. So I'm just so grateful for those who are lucky enough to get to go to those matches in person, how well they are supporting the team.
Yeah.
So
like, they share my philosophy. If you choose to be there in person, you got to show up and show out.
That was one of the most important things I learned about you is, okay, when we go to a sports anything with Molly Ann, there's a specific way to act, and I'm going to look at her. I did not grow up to going to so many sports events, but I'm going to take my cue from Molly Ann. Okay, here's how we do it. How do we support them the best? That's the right thing to say.
Yeah, being at a live sporting match is where I feel the most like myself, the most authentic version of me. So
we love to see it.
Yeah.
We love the sports girlies. It's a great experience.
It is. It is. So we got our Premier League win, our Premier League zhuzh back this weekend.
Thankfully.
Liverpool.
We now have won more games than we have lost now. That is a great place to be.
That is a great place to be. Liverpool versus West Ham in London. Where
we had a really hard time in London all season. So the fact that we could go to London and we could win, I understand it was only against West Ham, but I will take the wins where I can get them. And we are the only team in the entire Premier League who has not drawn a match.
Yeah, which
what
is crazy. I do also have to call myself out on this because, let us not forget the 5-game run that we started the high 5-game that we started this season on. And I was like, this is my dream. Either win or lose. Who needs a draw? Like, go big or go home, baby. And now I'm like, I'm
totally
so sorry.
About that.
I do take that back. Sometimes you have to know when the draw is what you've earned or not, and you just take the draw. But I was like, we don't need to take a draw. We're Liverpool. Guys, I was wrong. Okay. My apologies. Sometimes we want the draw. Okay.
The fact that there has been an NFL draw this season.
Yeah.
And the Liverpool has not drawn in 13 Premier League matches. And we haven't drawn in any of our matches this season. I never would have put money on that.
No. Maybe this is what I need. I just needed to
through the air.
Yeah. Say I'm sorry. Say I was wrong. I've learned. I don't need to deal in such absolutes. It's just unfortunately the way my brain likes to work, but I'll try to do better. I want the win. I want to be clear. I want the win. I will accept a draw now. So just in case.
We're less about the plot and the excitement of the match. It's just show up and just
get
be
points
solid.
Or a point.
Yes. Well, leading into this match, especially after the PSV match, this past summer, I spent a lot of my summer in London for work, and I was just walking along the streets of London, and Annika was in this big Labubu phase. Specifically, I'm going to call her out here, specifically because Curtis Jones's wife, Safi, was unboxing. We are obsessed with her. We want to be best friends with her. We want to learn all of her matcha ways in Liverpool. But she was just opening up these Labubus left and right. And Annika was like, I have to get Labubus. And so I was walking along the streets of London and I saw these Labubus. They're more than likely Lafufus, but it doesn't matter. So I bought 3 of them and I did our own little unboxing and we all named them. And Molly Ann, you named yours specifically Hugo because it is Hugo.
Yeah, it is Hugo Ekitike. Yeah, in Labubu form.
They look a little crazy just because they're Labubus. And so Annika and I decided, thankfully, I'm so glad that you left Hugo here in Seattle before you left because I was so worried we weren't going to be able to do this until the new year. But we decided that it was very important that the Labubus come together and do a little bit of a seance. And so we set up a little situation with the candle and all the Labubus, and they came together the night before the West Ham match, and it worked. So we had the sage there. We had some type of stone there as well, just for some really good energy. It is still set up in my living room, and it will stay there.
It has to stay,
in the home, amidst all of the Christmas decorations. So that did happen, and I'm grateful. Hopefully, it was just a little bit of help into the Liverpool experience. Season.
I mean, I think we need to credit Safi without.
Really, it is all about Safi.
I remember when Labubus were a thing, and at first I was like, this is so weird. I saw Safi post a TikTok about Labubus, and I was like, I need one.
She is our most influential influencer, truly. And really, Safi is the one that comforts Curtis when he comes home anyway. So we have a lot to credit her and all the wags.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're handling it. I hope they're all going to therapy too.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a WAG right now?
No.
Oh,
No, thanks.
that would be so hard. But
Uh,
how did you feel about the lineup going in? A big talking point was Mo Salah was left on the bench.
I mean, I don't want to say like I wasn't shocked, right? Like when you have Mohamed Salah on your team, you expect him to be starting. You expect him to play. He hasn't been in the same run of form that we know him for. And so I do think a change in whatever way, if nothing else, just to know that you've tried is really important. The other thing that I kind of think got lost in the hype of like, oh, the Mo Salah's benched PR campaign is he also leaves the end of this month for AFCON. It's like we aren't going to have him for much longer right now. And I would assume him not starting was like not a shock to him. You know, like we can't get to December 20th, whenever he leaves, and then just be like, cool, let's see how this goes. You know, so I think putting other people out there to try to see what happens was really important. So that way, if it doesn't work, like we still have Mo for a couple more matches. We can figure some things out. Luckily, it worked. But even watching his demeanor on the bench, we've seen a bench Mo, and it's not good. Like the energy is different, his demeanor is different. Anytime he panned over, like we weren't getting benched Mo energy.
Mm-hmm.
This seemed to be a Mo that understood and knew there was a reason he did not start that game. So I think it's probably a little bit of the, hey, it hasn't been working, let's change it up. I think it's a lot of we're not going to have you for a couple weeks. In a couple weeks, like we have to practice something else before you're gone. Again, the internet loves to be dramatic. I'm not living on that side of the world.
We are not dramatic humans. We're very passionate humans. We are not dramatic humans.
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple of thoughts on this. One, there are rumors that he's going to leave next week.
Oh,
like,
for
even
AFCON.
sooner than for AFCON.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the tournament starts December 21st. So, I mean, he's going to be there before that time.
Jamie Carragher was saying that both Mo and Verge, their legs are giving out. I don't necessarily agree with that. You could have said that about Mo last season. He's not as fast as he used to be. Obviously, he's in his 30s. He's not in his 20s anymore. But he was able to adapt last season. Our team players cannot shine unless our team is doing well. And our team is just not doing very well. So that's that. It's not a Mo or Virgil not doing well. It's not. They are not being supported as well as they have been in former seasons. Arne was asked about Mo after the match, and he was saying, we have 4 games in 10 days. Mo has had a wonderful history at Liverpool and will continue. He was so careful and so specific to make sure he said, and will continue to have a successful history here at Liverpool. There was no like, sorry, he's losing form, I put him on the bench. And I think Arne would have been honest about that. Like, hi, we've had conversations. This is just going to be how it is from here on out. He might say that, he might not. But we would see more and more changes. But I think you're right. We need to switch things up. We have to be brave and try something new. And maybe that worked this week. Maybe that had something to do with the win. Maybe it didn't. There's no way to be able to tell. But it was not as dramatic as people were making it seem. This is not a team that builds their entire tactic around one person. So we would just not do very well. Again, it is a team as a whole. It is how they all work together. It is how they support each other. We're starting to see, we saw it at Real Madrid. We saw it at Aston Villa. These points of chemistry and communication in between these players, of these sparks of, oh, they're getting it. But we're still seeing points of one player thinking they're kicking it into the line of someone running and they didn't know. You can just tell their chemistry's not there yet. And that is frustrating, but they're going to figure it out. That front line played together for years.
Yeah.
Mo knew exactly how people wanted the ball. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah. I was watching the goals from the West Ham match in London last year, and watching, it was one of Diogo's goals, but the way that like Mo and Jots were so instinct, almost ran like step for step with each other. Mo assisted it over to Diogo, he scored. And so it was just like another reminder of like, oh my gosh, there's so much change across the whole pitch, especially in that front line. And I think also now having Florian, it just changes the dynamic of the front line. I think changes how Mo has to show up and work with the other players up front. So yeah, it's just going to continue to take time, but yeah, I think Mo, whatever the conversation was, whatever the discussion was, he bought into and understood why he did not start that match. He would have looked very different if he disagreed. And I'm sure he wants to start. They all want to start. That's,
Of course.
But it wasn't a ticked off Mo Salah.
I'm curious because Mo got to be really close with that front line. And I saw a stat before the West Ham match. Liverpool has created the most number of chances out of any other team in the Premier League. We just haven't been able to finish anything. And we're conceding so many goals, which is why we're 8th on the table right now. And so it's really interesting thinking about it probably has a lot to do with that chemistry. There have been points where we've gotten so close to making a goal and then no one was in the box. And it's like, guys, why are we not supporting each other? This is not normal. So I'm curious to see how that's going to change. And I don't remember who was commenting on it, but someone was asked about Isak. And I think Mac was asked about Isak.
I saw this.
And he said, yeah, he's really great. He's just really quiet, kind of stays off on his own. Whereas the rest of the guys, and Mac was kind of like that when he started, but they all are like one big family and they just know each other really well. I wonder, and Isak is very much like a Zava situation. Isak has the personality to be that one standout star player. Liverpool doesn't really, that doesn't work super well with that team, at least in my own personal opinion. So I think he has the ability to open up and be a little bit more relational and like really be a teammate and a brother, because that is how this team shines. That's how they do really well. He also is still working on getting back to being fit again. So I'm just curious to see over time, because I think it's going to end up being really good when he kind of opens up a little bit more.
Yeah, it was one of the things I had noticed in some of like the inside training videos. And so it was interesting to see Mac come out and like talk about, he's a nice guy, but he's just a little more removed. And you can see moments, everyone's together and Isak's kind of like doing his own thing. And if that works for him and the team, that's great. And, I don't know what the team was like at Newcastle and if they gelled like that or if, everyone kind of did their own thing. But that, like you said, that sense of camaraderie is so important here that I hope, he can build that trust and those relationships to the point that works for him and works for everybody else as well.
He's not a bad guy. He seems like he's really kind. And especially after the match yesterday, they were asking him, okay, you finally scored in the Premier League for Liverpool. How are you feeling? He's like, first thing, I'm grateful for the win for all of us. The boys did so well. He praised everyone else before. He was like, I'm so glad I got this goal. It's so good. It feels really good. He is humble.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more than, not a lot more, but like maybe even a little bit more than I thought he was going to be. He hasn't come in as strong as I thought as he would, but I do see potential. So I'm really, how old is he?
That's a great question.
I can't remember. But anyway, I'm curious to see how his relationship with the team changes. We saw it happen with Chiesa. We saw it happen with Mac. I thought it was never going to happen with Cheese. So, and it did. And now he's like one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? So I'm very curious.
Talking just kind of like that humility that Isak showed up with post-match. I did think watching the game, one of the things that stood out with both of our goals was just the way the celebrations were a little different. They were like, the guys came together, they recognized who assisted, who scored, but it definitely wasn't the like slide to the corner, jump on each other type of moment that we tend to see from a goal celebration. Which again, I respected because I think it just shows where their head's at of like, we showed up to win this game. We showed to score. We showed up to keep a clean sheet, but we understand we got a lot of work to do, and let's not over expand on like what this win or this goal means, right? Like, it's one game. It's 2 goals. It's good. It gives us a boost, but you know,
we still have lots of work to do.
They recognize the seriousness in that, which I always appreciate. I want them to celebrate, but I liked that it was not over the top in that moment.
Isak did slide to the corner, but he got up and he like clapped to the fans and then turned around, hugged the guys, and then they got straight back to work. So like, yes, I'm glad that he took that moment to celebrate. Amazing. They all hugged and said, good job.
And then even Cody's celebration, I mean, the first thing he did was, you know, like turn around, like with like an intensity in his face and in his eyes that we haven't seen in a long time of like, this is what we're doing it for. And then go back to work.
I'm so glad he had a good match because he has he's just has seemed really shaken up. And his first half was kind of rocky, but he really locked in the second half. And I was really, really happy for him. So,
yeah. Quick things that come to mind: clean sheet.
Yes.
Huge.
Win on the road. We were away.
Huge.
Isak goal finally. Kirkez, his best game, hands down.
And I'm glad you mentioned Kirkez. I really loved Kirkez from the beginning. I think it's because he's so intense, and I really tend to gravitate towards players that like show up with a lot of intensity in whatever position. And he's gotten a lot of criticism. The thing I really respect about Kirkez is I feel like he's somebody that shows up. He's learning, he's figuring it out, but he is showing improvement. And I feel like when something doesn't go right and he's coached on it, he's taking that coaching and like we see it. Maybe it's not 100% the next match, but we're seeing consistent improvement from him. He is present. He is fighting so hard. Like, you cannot say Milos Kirkez is not giving everything he has on that pitch. Sometimes it's too much. I recognize that, but he just played so well. And
it's never not enough.
Yeah.
It's only off the rocker when it is too much because he gives too much.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think, again, in my own personal battle with the internet that I feel like I'm having on a weekly basis, I'm just like, guys, stop talking on Kirkez. Like, he is learning. He is a tiny baby, and like he is growing, and like he's going to be phenomenal. He's going to be the player that we want him to be. And he is showing us that he's willing to put in the work to learn to get there. I thought he played so well.
One of the things that I noticed in him, it's just uneven emotions.
Yeah.
He just goes to the extreme on either end. He's 21, 22, like early 20s.
Yeah.
His full frontal cortex is not fully developed. And I understand that there are other players that are around that same age, but you could just tell that his maturity level hasn't quite made it to where he can be consistent across the board. He has Dominic Soboslai to look up to.
Yeah.
Dominic is his mentor. Milos is already showing such great signs of being a baller, completely unstoppable. I cannot wait to see how he tears up that pitch when he evens out his emotions on the pitch.
Yeah.
And how he's able, like you said, the way that we've seen him take notes and make modifications and be better. You deserve your flowers. You deserve all of the praise.
Yeah. He's going to get there. So yeah, I don't know. My love for him grows more and more each match. I thought Florian Wirtz played incredibly well all over the pitch. Again, people just need to not be so reactionary. Like, give him a time. I screenshot a comment from somebody that talking about flow, like when Liverpool posted the final score line, and he just said, firstly, I want to apologize to Florian Wirtz. And I was like, this is the energy that we need. Okay, everybody needs to be apologizing to Flo.
They need to be apologizing to them, and they need to be apologizing to us for putting us through emotional turmoil, because I'm not one to sit there and fight with people in the comment section. Okay,
yeah,
all I can do is sit here and be positive on my own platform. I'm not going to fight with you. because I'm too tender for that.
Yeah, but I was like,
But
thank you.
it will hurt my feelings. Okay.
Thank you. You should apologize to Flo. No, he's just like, again, he is going to be okay. We're making really large assumptions off of a very little amount of information in the like larger span of his Liverpool career.
He has talked about how difficult the transition into the Premier League is. I saw something recently. He said he's gained 5.5 pounds from lean muscle since he joined Liverpool, and how hard he's been working in the gym. Oh my gosh. The way he is going to explode. Like, you see little glimpses of it. We saw it in preseason this season.
Yes.
In August, the way that we saw him show up in July and August, I was like, who is this? But we weren't playing Premier League teams.
Yeah.
But now we're consistently playing Premier League and Champions League teams. So, and again, the rest of the team is not the chemistry. They're still working on it. So no, I'm glad that he had such a great match. He got player of the match, and people started apologizing. I did not see that comment. So
yeah,
thank you
I'll
for
send it to you so
it.
you can drop it. You can put the receipts in here. But I was like, that's right. You apologized to Flo. What we will not do, or what I will not allow to happen again, is for people to run off players, i.e. Darwin Nunez, by bullying them and then wish they were back. Okay? So be nice, be supportive. It is helpful.
Do you remember how 2 years ago everyone was dogging on Dominic Szoboszlai because they didn't think that he was a good player? And the three of us were like,
not us.
No, he's amazing. Just wait.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Just wait. Nope, you don't see what he's doing. Nope, he's amazing. Just stop. And then now everyone's like, Dom's the only one that's showing up every week. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much every match, Dom is the one who runs the furthest and the fastest. The only other person who has run further than him is Florian Wirtz when they've played the same amount of minutes.
Yeah.
Insane. And he's not going to come out and be like, look at my stats. Look at this. Look at this. You have to pay attention to it.
He's just going to show up and put in the work. Like, so get your apologies drafted. Get them ready, everybody. Okay? Thank you. That's all.
Well, we have Sunderland on Wednesday and Leeds on Saturday. Both Premier League matches. Sunderland is at home, thankfully. How are we feeling?
Yeah, good. I mean, I think both of, like, Sunderland especially has been playing so well coming up from the championship.
Gosh, yeah. When I checked the table today, I was so surprised that they're only one or two. Oh no, they're 2 places ahead of us. Only like a point ahead of us, which is crazy.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a great match. I'm really glad that it is at Anfield. I think kind of our next run this month overall it's a lot of matches, and it is teams. They're not going to be easy, but like I think we have a really good run of matches that give us the ability to build some confidence, to get some wins or draws, because we'll take the draws, to get some wins or draws.
Putting out in the universe again, we will accept draws.
I don't want them all.
We're willing.
I don't want them all, but I'll take 1 or 2 if that's what we have to do.
I mean, it's the opposite of Ted Lasso when all they were doing is drawing in the beginning of the second season. They just had this curse, and then they lost one, and it broke the curse.
I think we have a good chance to like build some more confidence. Hopefully, like can take West Ham and then continue to roll that into Sunderland and Leeds this week. You know, get some more points. Hopefully, keep a few more clean sheets. Have some great goals. But it feels like I think we're back in the hopeful camp. It's hopeful again.
Yeah. Leeds gave City a run for their money. City won 3-2, just barely.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. So knowing the week we just came off of, lost to PSV, win at West Ham, if you had the chance to speak to the locker room, what would you want to tell them going into the next month of matches?
The first thing that comes to my head is Virgil. Pretty much at every single interview that he did last season, the big question was, do you think you've already won the Premier League? Do you think you have it done? And he said, I'm not worried about it. Our focus is the next match. It's one match at a time. That's it. I just want to give them all like a big, really big squeeze and tell them that they matter and they are important, and I believe in them, and I will never stop believing in them. And there's really not a lot that I could say outside of "Hi, you're wonderful. Please never let anyone tell you otherwise." Is yeah, just reminding them where they came from and how amazing their supporters are no matter what. Pretty much. Okay, so we were asked to be, what is it, the fan zone for Premier League production. So I got to do that this morning, which was really exciting. And Leroy had pretty much asked me, not exactly that question, but he was just asking a lot about pressure. And does this one win take a little bit of pressure off? There's a lot of pressure on Arne Slot. There's a lot of pressure on Mo Salah. And how am I feeling about all those different types of things? And he was like, do you think that you guys are still in contention for a Premier League win? And I was like, the title, it doesn't really matter to me anymore. It's just all last season, it was just game by game by game. And that's all we can do now. We're in a different form. And that's what I can do to make myself feel better without getting too anxious about this season. Whatever we lose, I'm just so worried about the people.
Yeah.
That's my focus. The losses don't impact my life at all, but I just am so worried about the people who are impacted by the losses and a poor run of form. So anyway, what would you say?
Well, should we be surprised that we had the same brain? Because my very first thing was, last year we heard so much, it was always one match at a time. We're only looking at the next match. And, I don't know what they're actually talking about, but it's just, we're not hearing that, it kind of feels like we're trying to solve it all at one time. And so the same idea of you can only be present and win and show up for the next match. One match at a time is the only way to get better and improve. So that was mine. And then the second thing that came to mind for me was, I think, inspired by Curtis's interview of, this is not up to Virgil to fix. And especially to our new players and our really young players, if you see something, call it out. This is your team too. And so rise to this occasion where you see areas to support or be better, or you feel like you need to speak up. I encourage you to do that, whether that's in front of the camera or behind the camera, on the pitch or off the pitch, was kind of my other thought. I think we have really strong and tenured leadership, and I think sometimes that can become the default. And this is really a season to start to build the next 3 to 4 years of Liverpool football. And so hopefully we have leaders that are rising up behind the scenes to do that.
I hope Dominic is starting to show up in that way.
Yeah.
I really do see him. I've said it all season. I do see him as being our next captain.
Yeah.
He has the grit for it. He has the maturity for it. He just has such great leadership qualities. And the way that he shows up and leads by example is phenomenal. So I hope that he is learning a lot from Verge and from Andy and stuff. So that's great. That's a great question.
Yeah.
If only.
I know. To be honest, if I had the chance, I would be I don't know, maybe faint. I just think I'd be so overwhelmed. But, it's just because we love them so much. And we want to see them do well.
I just want to hug them all.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Well, with that, who would you want to give a really tight squeeze to this week as your player of the week?
None other than our one and only Joe Gomez. Putting him at right back was incredible.
Yeah.
Arne even said it. He said, having 4 true defenders on the back line is what we need. We kept a clean sheet.
Yeah.
It was incredible to see how high he went.
Yes,
I don't remember agree. How many. I think he had 8 touches in the opposition box, something along those lines. It was incredible. Oh my gosh. Some of the crosses that he had were amazing. And he got a full 90 minutes in. We have not seen that from Joe in a long time.
Yeah.
So seeing him in that right back position was incredible. Seeing him back and fit and healthy, and another one of those players who's been around for a long time, that we need that rootedness. We need that leadership. We need that familiarity, especially for Virgil on the back line. having another person that he knows really well, he just tends to show up. It seems as if he can trust the guys around him a little bit more, so he can back off just a little bit. So we got to see the best out of Verge as well. But Joe, he is my player of the week.
I love that.
He's incredible.
Do you know how old Joe Gomez is?
I feel like we talked about this last season or in like the last like 6 months or something like that. And he was a lot younger than we thought he was. I think he's like 25, 26.
He's 28. I just heard somebody again say that today. And I was like, in my brain, he's like the same age as Verge. And so I was like, oh, he's younger. Okay. It surprises me every time.
And like, especially you always say, every day is one day closer to a Joe Gomez goal.
Yes.
And
can you make that into a sticker? Every day.
That is a really great idea. I haven't made any new Liverpool stickers yet this season, so I need to work on that. No, it's so funny because people were in our comments, especially on the seance stuff, and people were coming back and they were like, it worked. And we're all talking about Joe Gomez, and pretty much anyone who mentions Joe Gomez, I comment with, every day is one day closer to a Joe Gomez goal. And
it is.
We will speak it into existence. I feel it in my bones.
Yeah. It's coming.
What if his goal is the one that wins us the Champions League?
I mean, that's like what I'm thinking. It has to be something cinematic. Like as much
epic
as I wanted it at West Ham, I'll take the Joe Gomez goal anytime. I'm not going to turn it down. But I was just like, this is not it. This is not Joe's time. It is going to be in like the most crucial of moments.
I was a little bummed that Isak scored before Joe scored, but Isak is a striker, so that kind of does make sense.
It would be pretty bad if Joe is scoring and Isak's not scoring. That would be really bad. We'd have to be like, so sorry, sir. This is not gonna work.
Thank you to Young for coining the term Joe Gomez. I don't know if he made that up or if he heard it from someone else, but I'm obsessed with it, and that's what I want to call him that all the time. I feel like I want a kit with Gomez on the back of it after he scores his first goal.
There we go. That's what we'll get.
Yeah. So anyway, who is your player of the week?
Mine is Florian Wirtz. We've talked a lot about him.
Well deserved.
Yeah. So I'll try not to belabor that. I'm not always good at that. But I mean, he showed up, he was all over the pitch. He will be a difference maker for this team. Just, like I said, get your apologies ready. I appreciate the people that are already doing it unprompted.
Warm up your fingers.
I just think for somebody to come in, not perform to the level that he wanted to perform to or expected to perform to, but to continue to show up, continue to practice, continue, to grow, to learn, like, I think speaks a lot about his mentality and who he is. And he will show up on the pitch the way that he expects himself to do. And we're seeing that. So super excited for Florian. I hope, he's back healthy. I hope he continues to stay healthy and we see him in the starting lineup and he just gets to, he gets those reps in. He gets to continue to work on those relationships with the players around him. So yeah, I love it. I love to see that.
He does seem another one who's a little bit of an introvert too, that needs a little bit more time to blossom a little bit, especially being German.
Yeah. Well, and not having Frimmy like on the pitch with him, since he's been out, like that's his bud. So
I miss Frimmy so much. Too. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when he comes back and everyone's healthy?
Yeah. I miss Frimmy.
Speaking of players being healthy, did you see that Prince Leone is coming back in January?
What? No.
He's gonna be back practicing with the team in January.
Oh my gosh. That is such a blessing.
I saw that, I think yesterday, and I literally screamed and was like,
I didn't.
She was like, I already saw it. And I'm like, this is amazing.
No,
yeah, I need to find it.
I saw him pulling up to the training center when Isaac and his mom was out there and them talking to him. And then you had told me, I think a podcast 1 or 2 episodes ago, that like someone had seen him driving around, but I hadn't heard.
But he's driving, he's walking around. Like,
that is so exciting.
It is incredible. Yeah. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, that'll be really great.
By the end of the season, we'll get to see a little teeny tiny glimpse again.
Yeah. Yeah, because it'll take him a little while. But, oh, that's so exciting. Oh, I'm so glad.
So just little glimmers of joy and hope.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Oh, yay.
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, anything else before we call it a week?
Nope. I was like, if we lose this match, I don't want to do a podcast. I can't do it. It was so funny. It was such an early game for us. It was like 6:00 in the morning. And just coming off of Thanksgiving here and hosting and being up really early and doing so many airport runs, I was like, I can't bring myself to set my alarm. If my pregame anxiety wakes me up to watch it, great. The game started at 6. My body woke me up at 5:57, and I was like, really? I have to endure this? And I did.
It was worth it.
So it really was worth it. I just laid in bed and kept one eye open. I was just like, so anyway, grateful for the win.
Yes.
Very thankful for the win and our amazing Thanksgiving time and all of that. So
yeah,
that's all from me.
Awesome. Well, that's all for this week's episode. We'll be back here next week, but until then, you'll never walk alone.